Yes, people, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel, people. As you can see, I'm joined by a man like LB today. You know what I'm saying? We've got another big game at the weekend. I fucking hate Man City, people. Yeah? Because I was just telling LB, the last time we beat these lot is when we lifted the big airs in Portugal, bro. Yeah? After that, you know, the last 5 games, it's been 3 wins for Man City, 2 draws. If you guys remember last season at the Bridge, we drew. Amazing game. What was it 4-4, innit? 4-4 that game, yeah?
Yeah.
And then we drew away as well, 1-1. And I was actually impressed with how we came to the Etihad last season. I can't lie.
You should have won. Pochettino fucked it up,
Yeah.
really, innit? You know what I mean? With that
Exactly,
scrub, man, he took all your tackers off and you just sat there and tried to, you know, see it out. And then we got the lucky goal in the end. So, yeah, you probably should have won that game. Let's be real.
Yeah, 100%. We should have won that game, bro. But before last season, we didn't score a goal against Man City since we beat them in the Champions League. So this is a team that we've really struggled to beat. Yeah? Really struggled to beat. Tuchel, he had Pep's number, man. Like, he beat Pep, was it 3 times in the space of 6 weeks at Chels. That was obviously including the final as well. But we just haven't been able to get over the line. And the annoying thing about Man City, LB, I'm not scared of you lot. I know you lot have won the treble and you lot have won all these trophies and that. And every time we play Man City, we always get chances. The issue with us is when you play us, you're always so clinical in comparison to us. You know what I mean? But this time round, I'm looking at a Man City team that are looking very vulnerable. I'm looking at a Man City team that lack a lot of balance in the midfield, lack a lot of energy in the midfield. You're seeing now you're buying all these young players, all this youth. You're trying to bring energy into your team. So I'm not, I'm looking at a Man City team that can definitely be got at right now, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
how are you feeling going into the weekend, man?
Not confident one little bit. Yeah, bro. Like, it's a mad season for us. Like, we're struggling bad. Like, our midfield is just woeful. But it's all right on the ball, right? So it's like on the ball, it's actually decent. You know what I mean? Like, you guys have seen Kovacic. Like, this guy's a baller when he's got the ball at his feet. Like, the way he glides past players is crazy. Gundogan on the ball, no problems. It's as soon as we lose possession, they just ain't got the legs, man. They ain't got the legs to do what's required, and we're just getting cut apart every single time.
Talk to us about your shape on the ball. So this is how you tend to line up on the ball, bro. So talk us through the shape, man.
Yeah, so I'm trying to just like think about who's going to play because I don't know what's going to happen with Diaz. Because obviously at the time of recording for the chat, like we don't know if he's going to be available. But yeah, usually like we've got a couple of different options. So sometimes we'll play like a 3 with Gvardiol left-sided centre back, and sometimes he'll push into midfield and. You know, you might get like Nunes, who you can see on the right-hand side there, who'll basically push up. Or sometimes he might play a Kanji at right back or Rico at right back, and basically it's just the other side. So Rico will push into midfield, a Kanji will push into midfield, and Gvardiol will push into left wing. So it just depends on who he goes for. But essentially, our system is one of our fullbacks pushes up as a winger, and then the corresponding winger on that side becomes an extra midfielder. So on this example, Nunes effectively becomes your right winger, and Foden, who you've got circled, becomes a midfielder. It could be on the other side, but yeah, it just gives you an extra man in midfield. Now it does leave you a little bit, and we need that extra man because of how bad we are. So it's just an extra body in there, but it doesn't seem to be working because even though we've got that extra body in there, it just doesn't work because they're all too slow. So yeah, man, like that's how we set up on the ball. But as soon as we lose it, and on the ball, we're not that bad. And in fact, in the last couple of games, we have started to improve. You know, it started at West Ham. We scored 4 goals. You know, we're starting to create chances because this is one of the problems that we had, Donya, is that like about a month ago, we couldn't defend. Our midfield was awful and we couldn't score goals. And that's why we just didn't win football matches. Whereas over the last 2 or 3 weeks, one of our areas has started to improve, which is our attack. Savio started to come into his own. Kevin De Bruyne was looking more fit. Foden started to get back on it as well. So we're starting to score goals, but we just can't defend, bro.
Yeah, 100%. And listen, you're spot on when you talk about your midfield, because that is an area that I'm looking, you know, to exploit, bro. You know, because obviously you sent me the lineup that you think you're gonna go with, and obviously watching the game against PSG the other day, bro, and looking at some of the goals that you've conceded this season. I'm seeing a recurring theme. You know, a lot of the time when you're conceding these goals, LB, is coming through your midfield or teams are playing up against your high line. And I didn't even notice how many crosses you lot concede. You know, when you watch a team weekly, you don't forget, but it's like you don't really, because I was watching goal after goal after goal in terms of the goals you've conceded. I'm seeing so many crosses that you lot are conceding right now, right? This is one of the goals here. If you have a look here, look, you can see all this space in the midfield. There's no one about, bro. There's no one local. Again, this is against West Ham. This is how West Ham scored their goal. Look at all that space in the midfield. Yeah, you see the ball gets played out to Souček there, and then he whips it for the goal. That's when they ended up scoring that goal. You know what I mean? You've got Aston Villa as well, bro. If you remember that goal that Tielemans when he set it up, look at all that space in the midfield. Yeah, you can see Rodgers and Giroud on their bike. They're gone. You know what I'm saying, right? There, before you know it, from back to front, they're in front of your goal. Yeah. You've got another here. It's against Aston Villa again. Rodgers running through your midfield, LB. Yeah. There's so many examples here, bro. You got Juventus. Look at all this space in the midfield, bro. There's nobody here. What's Gundogan doing here? Rico Lewis, look at this.
Yeah.
You know
we don't have the personnel, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna share screen. If you can pull up this graph at the bottom on StreamYard, bro. Let me show you something. This is a stat that went around we kind of went viral. And this is all the teams and how good they are at box defending. The closer you are to the top right, the better you are. The closer you are to the bottom left, the worse you are. Manchester City have the worst box defending in the Premier League this season. This is block shots and stopping crosses. And if we basically don't have Ruben Diaz or John Stones in there, we can't defend our box because they're the only two players that are good in our side at box defending. And unfortunately for us, John Stones has been injured all season and Ruben Diaz has had a few injuries. Hence why we are officially, this was like a couple of weeks ago, maybe it's improved with Diaz coming back in, but we are officially the worst team in the Premier League at defending our penalty area.
You know what? I'm really surprised by that. That's what I'm saying. Like when I'm watching your goals back here and I'm like, hang on, that's another cross. There's another cross there. Another one. And this is an area of the pitch where I've always bigged up Man City, right? Because even going back to when we played you first day of the season, that was the difference in the game. We struggled. Well, we didn't struggle, but for the goal that Haaland scored, we didn't deal with him in the box, right? Whereas with you lot, you dealt with Jackson in the box. You know, Jackson's not a natural striker, but in the box, we didn't really create much in that game. Tactically, Maresca could have been a bit better. If you remember, Cole Palmer started on the right. You had Nkunku started on the left. It was a bit of a mess. Enzo in the 10. So we didn't really play to our best. But overall, you guys defended your box quite well. And that's an area that I tend to look at with Man City. And I'm like, you know, you're defending it quite well, bro. What do you think the problem's been? Is it just personnel? Like, what is it? Confidence?
It's personnel. If we've got Ruben Diaz and John Stones are our two best box defenders. Ake's not bad at it, right? But Akanji is just too passive as a defender. He's a good player, Akanji, yeah. But like when you go into a war, which we're going to war because like when you're in the trenches, you're at war, right? When you go into war, you don't want Akanji in your back line, man. Like you need the warriors, innit? You need the Diazes, man. The Vincent Kompany's, the JTs, the Vidic's. You need these guys to be like, yo, I'm going to die on this pitch, man. And like, that's what you need. That's what box defending is. It's about throwing your body at the crosses, throwing your body at block shots. And unfortunately, when everything's going good, players like Rico Lewis, players like Akanji, they're great to have in your side, when everything's going well. You've seen that in the treble year, right? But when things hit the fan, and you need like, right, okay, we actually need to do the basics here and like put your body on the line and start throwing your body at shots and do this, do that. They're not great. They're too passive. So, and that's the problem. Diaz has been injured and Stones has been injured. So we've been left with these players that are just, they're not right for the situation that we're in. It's no coincidence when Diaz has been in the side, we look like a completely different outfit. And if Diaz is in the side for the Chelsea game, I'll be much more confident in getting the 3 points now. We don't know if he's going to be fit, but if he's not there, we don't fully know. He got subbed off against Paris, and apparently Pep said Diaz come to him at half-time and said, I can't continue. So what that means, I don't know. Is he ill? Does he have a knock? Has he redone his hamstring again? Because he come back from his hamstring injury, straight back in the side, played 90 minutes because none of our players stay fit. So, yeah, man, it's just about personnel. We've got the two new young lads in. Well, that's going to be a lot of pressure on them. You know what I mean? I can't really sit here and be like, they need to do this, they need to do that, because it's not really fair. You know, one of them's 19, one of them's 20. So, yeah, there's a lot of pressure on these defenders, man. And at the moment, they're just not delivering, bro.
No, I hear it, man. And listen, one thing that you guys have to be careful with as well, you know, Jackson right now, he isn't, you know, the most clinical guy, but away from the box, right? In terms of actually getting on the ball and giving him space, that's something that you don't want to be doing. And another thing that I noticed, even against PSG, this is your high line. You can see here, it's not even in line, right? With everyone else. You can see some defenders are pushing up a little bit more, right? Here, this is where Bacola ended up getting the ball, and this is how they ended up scoring. Yeah. So if you give Jackson all this space, and if you give us all this space to run into, it's gonna play straight into our hands. Because one thing that we've really struggled with in these past 5 games, 6 games, when we've sort of dropped off form, LB, is we've faced the lower blocks. You know what I mean? The Wolves, for example, the other day with Wolves, obviously we won that game. The crossing in that game actually helped us. I don't really like this team overly crossing, I'll be honest, because I feel like we haven't really got the personnel to constantly win headers and constantly win these battles in the box. I'd rather we cut back to score our goals. You know, like how you played against Ipswich when you scored all those cutbacks. That's how I want Chelsea playing, right? But at the minute, it seems like Maresca's trying to coach this crossing thing into the team. And again, against Wolves, you know, we didn't really create many many clear-cut chances in that game. Against Fulham, they kind of sat back a lot of that game as well. Ipswich, we struggled in the box as well. So with Chelsea, how our team set up, we do thrive when you're giving us a lot of this space, bro. Because you can imagine Enzo Fernandez getting in this little space here, picking out the ball, playing it in behind to Sancho. Yeah, Jackson just dropping deep here, Palmer spinning off of him. Because Jackson and Palmer have got a very good relationship as well. You know what I mean? So looking at this is music to my ears. I'm just looking at this screenshot right now, and I'm like, bro, if you lot have this line like this again, which you most likely will, then you're walking into danger against us, bro. How are you feeling about your back line, bro? Do you want it to drop back a little bit, or
I want us to do right now? I want us to do what we did in the first half against PSG, and that might sound mad because people will go, "But you got battered in the first half against PSG." Not on chances created. They didn't create anything really in that first half. You know what I mean? I think they had a chance off a set piece, and that was pretty much it. It was pretty quiet in that first. And they boxed us off the park in terms of the way they moved the ball, but we just kept in a shape. Yeah, and we let them have the ball, and yes, it looked like they were battering us, but they didn't really create a great deal. That's what I want us to do against Chelsea. Sit back, absorb the pressure, say, listen, you guys can break us down. I'm not talking like sit on the edge of the penalty area doing an Arsenal thing. Yeah, I'm saying like just keep a shape, keep it compact. And when we get on the ball, we got to try and hit you quickly, man. But if we do this, I think Jackson's one of the best in the league at exploiting space. And that's, finishing. Will he punish us? You talked about before the stream about not being clinical and that. Like, will he punish us? That's a different question. But yeah, if we play a high line, it could get sticky, man.
100%. And again, Feyenoord, this is another team here. This is another goal that they scored. They scored from this situation here. You can see how high your line is, bro. Akanji's
I lost it that day, bro. Like, what, bro? This is 3-2 in the 88th minute. What are we doing?
This is bad.
This is style, bro. Like, what the hell are we doing? Why are we not just sitting on the edge of our box, seeing out the game with what couple of minutes to go? This is our madness.
And you're winning 3-0 that game, innit?
Yeah, we're winning 3-0. And then in the 88th minute, we're playing a high line like this. It's like you want to purposely lose the game, man.
100%, man. So this is what I'm saying. For me, like, I'm not scared of you guys, LB. Even when you was in your pomp, I always kind of said it's all about mentality, bro. It's all about mentality, bro. Like, Man City are not the same Man City right now. We can honestly finish above you. If we start to pick up a little bit of form again, because, bro, we nearly left you. We could have been far from you right now, you know. If all we had to do was just do our job, we could have been far from you.
I know.
But we've let you back in the house. We've actually let you back in the house, bro. So all it is, these lot need to go into the game and not pay you any respect. Not pay you any respect because, like I said, you're not the Man Cities with the Agueros and the Rodris and all these, man. You're very vulnerable right now. I'm looking at KDB. I can see him still trying to create and that, but he's not looking the same, bro. You know, obviously you don't want to be giving KDB all this space in the world and that, but it doesn't really look the same. I know he had a good game against Ipswich. To be fair, that was, he kind of looked like back to his old self, but overall, we should be outrunning that midfield. Enzo Fernandez should be back for the game. I saw the Maresca's comments in the presser. He said him and Cole were supposed to be back for the game. And obviously Caicedo right now, he's running low on energy, bro. But again, for a game like this, all the big games so far, he's been quite good. So, I'm looking at that midfield and we should be winning that midfield battle, bro. I can't lie.
Nah, facts. You just got to outrun that midfield, and you'll get so much joy. You'll cut through us on counters and transitions. You'll prevent us from moving up the pitch quicker. You'll stop us from winning the ball high up the pitch. And like, listen, we still have the quality. We still have the quality to punish 100%. But it's the running. If you can outrun us, and it's not just in terms of like the distance. You know what I mean? Everyone, it's about the speed. It's about how quick can you press us? You know what I mean? How quickly can you bypass our press? Because the thing is, like, because we're so slow, our press has fallen off. Because, you know, that split second difference in us like 2-3 years ago, being able to press you quicker and you having to go back to your goalkeeper and launching it. See, defenders have now got that little bit extra time because our press is too slow, and they can just take an extra second and then they can play out from the back. And teams are beating our press easy, and that's why they're cutting through our transition like a hot knife through butter, man.
Even here, you can see you're not really in a high line, but again, KDB is off of him here. You know, no one's really pressing there. Obviously, Cover's marking Pedro here, but you can see Baleba just plays it to Welbeck. Welbeck plays it back to Pedro. This guy over here ends up getting it back, and they score from this situation again. These are the things that I'm talking about. Like, this midfield here is so imbalanced, bro. It is so imbalanced. You know what I mean? It gives so much time and space to the players like Baleba. And it's so annoying, bro. If we had Lavia in this game, I'd be even more confident that we'd pick something up. Because Lavia and Caicedo, just to shore things up so we're not getting done on the transition, you play Enzo a little bit further up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Play next to Sancho and that. It will be problems for you lot, you know? But this is something that Enzo Fernandez is very good at, playing in between the lines, breaking those lines. He's very good at that, bro. So he's going to be key in this game. Because you know, we didn't really miss him the other day, in all honesty. I thought Dewsbury did quite well. But Enzo right now has been our most consistent midfielder, I would say. Probably most consistent player, him and Palmer, the past 5-6 games. What kind of worries you, would you say, from a Chelsea point of view, bro? Like, going into the game, who would you say worries you the most?
Your fullbacks might have a part to play in this, you know. You know, they really might, because this is what PSG did to us. They pushed Hakimi and Mendes quite far forward, which gave our wingers, which was Savinho and then obviously Grealish in the second half and then Foden, they had to then stay out wide, and they couldn't tuck in and they couldn't help the midfield. So I think this is a game where Chelsea need to get brave, right? And if you get brave, listen, obviously you might get punished if you're not clinical. We could do you, right? But if you get brave and you know, all your players go into the game thinking, you know what, we're going to go for it here, and there is a risk that we might get done. You know what I mean? In transition, KDB balling behind for Haaland, whatever. But we're going to be brave. We're going to take the game to City, and we're going to make them suffer. We're going to make their. I think that's the way to go. And if you do that, and you keep our wingers wide because you push your fullbacks forward, then that's going to mean KDB, Kovacic, Gundo, Bernardo, whoever it is in the midfield, I've got to deal with Palmer, Caicedo, Enzo, Jackson if he decides to drop into the space. And I think if you do that, I think it's not going to be good, bro. It's not going to be good for us.
I think it's actually going to be a similar setup to this. So this is how we played against Wolves. You can see a back three here. Reece hasn't really been pressing up as much. Obviously, you know, this guy, bro, his legs, you know what I mean? You need to be overly cautious with Reece James, right? So I do think it's going to be a back three on the ball. And Cucurella is the one that I think is going to be inverting into like the half space, going into this little pivot with Caicedo. Because one thing about Cucurella, bro, his IQ is top tier. He knows how to play various roles in one game. Like, at 1 minute, you could just see him here, LB. Next minute, you see him in the pivot helping with the build-up. He's just everywhere. He understands how to do it. And this goes back to his time in Spain as well. Because I believe in Spain, he played in midfield for a bit. Obviously, you lot wanted him for this exact reason, that he can invert into the midfield. I was jealous when you lot nearly signed Cucurella, bro. I was like, this is the guy Chelsea should be going for. I was so happy. And I used to defend this guy when people used to cook him, saying he's shit. And I said, bro, Cucurella's not shit. There's just so many things that have happened since he's come. You know, his house got burgled. He had tonsillitis. This guy got hospitalized for a little bit, bro. He's playing with a bunch of players that didn't want to be there. If you remember when we finished 12th, bro, it was a shit show, you know. But now I'm seeing a player who's very, very important in how we play. You saw him the other day. He scored another goal in the box, crashing into the box. Tenacious off the ball as well. The way he counter presses to win the ball. Again, giving us that energy that you lot don't really have in midfield. Yeah. He's going to be very good in this game, very key in this game even.
Yeah, no,
like, I agree. Saying, we need to basically overload that midfield and make sure that we're pushing your wingers back as well, bro.
Yeah, facts. You got to make our midfield work. Yeah, you got to make, and this is why Ipswich failed, because they didn't make our midfield work. Yeah, like Kovacic and Gundogan that day, they had it easy. Now, these are two players combined age of what, 65, 66 years old. If you need to make them work, and then in the second half strike because they're knackered, you know what I mean? And that's what happened against PSG. That's what's happened against Brentford. That's what's happened against a lot of teams. Our midfield just can't go for 90 minutes. So, yeah, if you can push Cucurella in that midfield or push him wide and then get the free in the midfield just to pop the ball around and make Kovacic run, make Gundogan run, at some point, they'll just get knackered and they won't be able to do it no more, man. So, again, for me, I think Chelsea just got to cut. I know it's mad because you come at the Etihad, but just come at the Etihad, be brave, and just fucking go for it and just see what happens. And then you got to be clinical when you get the chances, of course.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And from a City point of view, what are you kind of looking at to sort of make sure that you're exploiting Chelsea's weaknesses? Because we do have weaknesses, bro. Obviously missing big chances is one of them. But what would you kind of say to the boys right now if you could say, listen, you need to be getting at this to beat these lot?
Well, obviously, if it was me, I'd set up a bit more defensively. I'd be compact, like we did to start that first half against PSG. And I don't mind you having the ball. You know what I mean? People get too gassed about, this team's battering you. And then you go, really? Just because you got the ball and you're dominating possession don't mean you're battering you. For me, battering is when you're constantly creating chances, which is what PSG did in the second half. But just having possession and popping it around, that's not battering you, man. So I'm quite happy for you to have possession. If that means we're compact, and obviously if you're creating loads of chances, then that we need to change, right? And then as soon as we get the ball, we need to be quick. We need to get the ball. I want Haaland to be playing on the shoulder in this game, or whoever's playing in defence for you, on the shoulder. And I just want us to be playing quick balls out to him in behind the defence. I want whoever's playing on the wings, Savio, Foden, get the ball, run with it. You know what I mean? Because obviously if you are pushing a man into midfield, if Foden picks up the ball on the right, driving infield, sort of behind Cucurella and behind Caicedo, if we're quickly transitioning. And just play like that, man. Like for me, we just got to be a little bit smarter. We got to realize where we are. We can't go head to head. I don't think we can go head to head here. I think we just got a bit more, like humble ourselves a little bit. And yeah, obviously this is the 11 that I'm going for at this moment in time. I don't know if Diaz is going to be fit. But this back line is scary, man.
Fucking hell, mate. Akanji, Kusanov. I haven't done any research on this guy. I've watched a few clips from one game when they played Arsenal. I watched that game back. Like, he looks all right. Looks all right, to be honest. But again, if you want to throw him in for this game, bro, he might learn a thing or two from the likes of Jackson. Because Jackson, bro, he's good at spinning defenders. That's one thing he's good at. Very good at spinning defenders.
That back four scares me big time because Stones has literally trained once. Since
I won't be surprised if he gets injured again this game,
Well, exactly. That's why I was mad surprised to come on against PSG. He's trained once before the PSG game, so he's probably not fit, and he'll probably get injured at some point.
Don't forget what we did to Van de Ven and Romero. They tried to rush them back. They both got injured in the same game.
To be honest, this isn't a predicted 11. This is kind of what I do, right? But if I'm telling you what I think is going to happen, obviously, again, we don't know what's happened with Diaz. Let's assume he's injured. I think what he'll do, he'll play a Kanji in the middle with Stones, and he'll play Nunez at right back. I don't think he's throwing Huzanov in first game.
You think Nunez will play at right back, yeah?
I think that's what he's been doing. He'll play Nunez at right back. He'll play Kanji and Stones at centre half, unless Ake's fit, which I don't think he is. Unless Diaz is fit, which he probably not.
See, this is when you having a profile like a Mudryk would help us in this game, man. Because if you remember last season when we played you, Walker got cooked by Sterling both the games, right?
Yeah.
And we got a lot of joy in the wide areas because obviously where you tuck in your fullbacks at time, you can get a lot of space on that side. Do you know what I'm saying? And you can isolate the fullbacks as well. Sancho, obviously, he's been cooking for us, but he's not that transitional sort of winger. He's very good in the tight spaces, very good at retaining the ball. He's very good at progressing it, you know what I mean? But in terms of just running at a man like that time and time again, Mudryk would have been brilliant for this. And obviously now we're looking at Garnacho, bro. LB.
That's a madness.
Yeah. I don't know.
What's happening there?
Listen, let me be real, yeah? One thing about Garnacho, I've always said he's a squad player, right? I don't like his temperament. I don't like his attitude and that because this whole CR7 thing and he thinks a little bit too he thinks it better than what he is. I don't want to be spending 60 million for a guy that's going to be a squad player, bro. Really and truly, because Sancho's better than him. If it was getting Garnacho, let's say we've got a team, well-established team already, and you're bringing in Garnacho to add to that, 35 million, 40 million. I'll be like, you know what? Cool, fair enough, because I rate him as a squad player anyway, right? But when you're bringing this guy in, when you know that we're not there yet right now, Madueke's struggling to consistently score goals. Neto has been shocking. I'll be honest.
Goalkeeper.
Yeah, we need a new goalkeeper, like what you're saying, right? For me, I want to give Jorgensen a chance, but it seems like Maresca don't fancy him, right?
Yeah.
You know, Sancho doesn't score enough. He creates chances, but doesn't score enough. Jackson's not clinical. So I'm looking at Garnacho and I'm like, okay, yeah, cool, you shoot more, but you're not a bagsman. You know what I'm saying? You're not a guy that's going to come in straight away and yeah, this guy's going to put up at least 10 goals. You know what I mean? So that one there confuses me a little bit, man. I can't lie. I know we've kind of gone off of the preview, but this Garnacho thing, what do you think about this Garnacho thing, man?
Yeah, completely agree. I think it's a weird signing. It's a mad price. If it's like 70 mil, like that, or 60 mil, whatever, I think that's crazy money. And I say this about Chelsea, man. You're not too far away from being a side that can legitimately challenge for the title. But you need a goalkeeper. And for 60 mil, bro, there's goalkeepers out there that you can go and get for 60 million. So I don't understand this. You know what I mean? I think it's a strange move, you know. It's very Chelsea-esque. Like, what the hell? Like, what they're doing that? Like, you know, every player that you guys seem to sign these days is like, whoa. Like, remember when you signed Sancho and you was like, rah, they're getting Sancho.
Yeah.
This is what Chelsea do, man. So yeah, weird. Obviously, there's a player in there, right? I don't particularly rate him that highly, but he's still well young. He's like 20, 21.
I think he's 20. Let me even check how old he is, brother. I know he's got a kid.
He's got experience already because he's played quite a lot for United. So there's a lot of growth in there. How old?
He's 20, bro. He's 20.
Yeah, so
he's not 21 till July, bro.
Yeah, so like there's definitely a player in there, and like it wouldn't surprise me if for a couple of years he's just absolutely slamming. But it's just I just don't get it. I just don't understand why now. Why not going for a goalkeeper?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, listen, goalkeeper, if that's gonna happen, maybe I'll probably say in the summer. I don't think we're gonna derail our season right now, like dropping Sanchez and having Jorgensen third choice. Like Jorgensen for me, like I said, it is a better profile for what we're trying to do because he's better on the ball. He's not a bad shot stopper either, right? The only thing I'd say Sanchez probably has over him is his cross collection. Sanchez is quite good when he just comes to collect the ball, but Jorgensen, I think is a good profile, man. I think is a good goalkeeper, but again, we haven't really seen much of him. That's the issue. But yeah, with Garnacho, like I said, if it's up to me, I wouldn't go anywhere near this guy because I feel like we don't need that right now. These are the sort of signings that you go splash that money when, again, you're ready-made. You know, when Man City are in their pump and you just bring a little bit more squad depth, players to play in the FA Cup, players to come off the bench. You know what I mean? Because if you're looking at Garnacho to come off the bench, bro, against tired legs, 70th minute or something, you're all right with that. But when you're looking at him to be starting your games and that, bro, you know, returning investment 60 million, you're fuming. You know what I mean? But I can't lie, he does have good potential. But for me, he's quite limited. I look at him in the same realm as the Martinellis, you know, the head down, run. You don't know what type of cross is going to go in. Yes, they like to pop off shots, but they're very inconsistent in front of goal. Even yesterday against Rangers, he had a very good chance in the box. Should have took it first time. He's trying to like dilly-dally on it. He's hit the post. You know what I mean? So, end of the day, he can improve because he's only 20 years old. So I have to have the same energy. I don't think it's rubbish. I don't think it's rubbish. That's the thing. I'm more angry at the fact that we're fucking helping these United boys when they're broke. They are brass right now.
Yeah, I know.
Straight profit. Obviously, the whole Mason Mount thing, we've got that over them. Now they're trying to get one over us. And on top of that, bro, the banner that's gonna come with it. That's what I'm more pissed off about. You know what I mean? And the price, right? But in
price is a madness.
When I look at him, I'm like, he's decent. But yeah, bro, that's what I'm angry about. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's to say, like I say, he's only young, so he's going to grow and that he's going to get better. But I do agree. I think the right word that you use there is he's going to be a limited footballer.
Exactly.
Probably. Who knows? Maybe he will turn out to be mad. But yeah, he appears to be limited. Like whereas I feel like Sancho's got more to his game, right?
Yeah.
Sancho's got like a higher ceiling. I know he's a bit older, right? But like he's got a higher ceiling, Sancho, as a footballer. He's a better footballer. He's got a better football brain. Yeah, he knows he's different, you know. So yeah, man. Anyway, listen, you're spending the money, so you've obviously not got no finance problems, but it's just a bit mad to me that you're spending it on him and not a goalkeeper or not like a clinical striker or a new centre back or something. But yeah, talk to me about this, man. Talk to me about this.
Man. So this is the lineup that I think Maresca's gonna go with. Sanchez in goal.
Chalobah in there, yeah, bro. My fan base cooked me out in the summer. I said, listen, lads. We are going into the season with not enough defenders. We need a squad rotator. Go and get Chalobah from Chelsea for 20 million. Homegrown, he's versatile, he's tall. Go and get him. And you know what, bro? I got laughed at. I got fucking laughed at by my fan base for the Chalobah shout, and it was a sick shout. We should have signed this guy, man, as a
Nah,
squad rotator.
He would have helped for sure, man. The thing about Chalobah, he's a good steady Eddie, innit? Like, there's no in between with him. He could either have a very good game like what he did the other day, or a game where you just think any second is gonna have a bozo moment. You know, that's the thing about him, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? But against Wolves, he came back and man of the match performance, bro.
Yeah, man of the
kind
match,
of like a fuck you performance to the sporting directors for getting rid of him. You know what I mean? But yeah, reset right back. Chalobah, obviously centre back. I've gone with right centre back for this one. I think Tosin might get dropped only because I feel like Maresca's going to want a little bit more aggression. You know, he's probably going to want to play a little bit of a high line. So he needs someone that can actually push up a little bit more. Because when you're playing Tosin and Colwell together, there tends to be a massive space between Caicedo and the centre backs. Because Tosin's not like an aggressive front-facing defender like a Fofana. He's not like that. Whereas Chalobah's going to get into
it's more like a Kanji, innit? Like Palma doesn't want like to have some mad physical battles, doesn't want to like press proper aggressive. He just likes like, again, in a good team, when you're cooking on gas, he's probably a good player to have in there. But when you're about to go to battle, which you probably are, if you're going to go aggressive mode and press us and take the game to City, you probably want like Chalobahs and a bit more aggression in it.
Exactly, bro. And then Cole will be back in. With the other day, the line breaking passes he plays, bro. We did miss them. But Chalobah played a couple good passes to Neto, to be fair, and Sancho as well over the top. Obviously, Cucurella left back, Caicedo and Enzo in the pivot, Palmer in the 10, Madueke right wing, and Sancho left, Jackson up top. You know, he could start Neto because we might have a little bit more space to work with there. But I can't lie to you, LB. Neto has been underwhelming, bro. He's just so limited. It's one trick pony, cross. No directness, really. Doesn't want to attack the box. Doesn't want to shoot. He's not doing anything. And from what I've seen from Mudryk this season, I keep going back to Mudryk. It's annoying. But he was actually performing better than this guy. Even in the Conference League, he was performing better than this guy. Because we've seen Neto a couple of times in there, bro. You know what I mean? But let me show you what the shape's going to look like on the ball. So if I show you what it's going to look like on the ball, so this is what we tend to do. So I reckon it will be reset right centre-back. Chalobah will probably go more central for this one because obviously he's going to be playing right centre-back unless Maresca changes him and Cole around, but I don't see that happening because obviously Cole was left-footed. So it'll probably be a back three like this. Cucurella going into the midfield with Caicedo, and then Enzo pushing up a little bit more to create that 4, and obviously Jackson up top. And when you see this happen, this little link up here, bro, be careful of it because Enzo and Sancho have a very good relationship. Sancho has to bounce it off of him. It's similar to like Saka and Odegaard on the right. That's how they tend to play together. They like to rotate together. Obviously, you know what Cole Palmer brings. You know, last year, obviously, he didn't score at Etihad. He scored against you lot at the Bridge, of course. But listen, he's gonna come back for some blood. You know what I mean? He's got more experience now as well. But how are you feeling about that lineup on the ball, man?
Yeah, that box midfield there, that could cook. That could cook, man. Yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. That's all I can say, man.
You know what's so funny about this, yeah? I was so confident the other week, right? That, we're going to finish above Man City now and we're cooking and, we could push to maybe even get in the fucking title race and that. But because of our past few results, even though we've got a good team right now, I've just lost that confidence, LB.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's
momentum in it. Momentum. I always say, man, momentum's the most powerful thing in football. Yeah, and that's why I would have took a point at PSG because it would have made our unbeaten streak go to 7, and then like all of a sudden you've not lost a game in 7. That's pretty decent, You've not lost a game in 7 matches. You start to think, oh, you know what? We've just gone to Paris, get a point. We can beat Chelsea. And now I'm like, yo, we lose a game, and it's like, yo, we ain't beating Chelsea, man.
Yeah.
We've won. Do you know this? We've only won 4 games against the top 4 in the last 18 months. Top 6. Top 6. We've only won 4 games against the top 6 in the last 18 months. One of them was against you.
That's better than us.
Two was against United.
That's better than us because, bro, we struggled to beat the top 6 sides. We beat Spurs, but fucking hell, Spurs, innit? United, we drew that game. Arsenal, we drew that game. Against you, man, we lost. Like, we're struggling to get over the line, and that's the next thing that these lot need to do. Yes, they're the youngest team in the league, but you're big boys. You're playing with the big boys now, so treat yourself like a big boy. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that we can come there and make a statement because, bro, we're not far from the crazy part. That's what I'm saying, LB. Like, the quality in this league right now at the top is shit because we're literally 4 points behind second now. We're 4 points
It's
behind
awful, bro.
second.
It's an awful league this year in terms of like the title and that, because we're all just crap apart from Liverpool, who were semi-decent. So
Yeah,
but I ain't confident going into this game, bro. I'll be real.
yeah.
And the mad thing is, I think it's a must-win game for City. I think it's a must-win because after this, we got Arsenal next. So if we lose this game, we go 5 points behind you. We go 3 points behind Newcastle, right? Our next game is against Arsenal. We probably won't win that, so that'll be 6, 7, 8 points behind you. If you win next week, it'll be 6 points behind Newcastle. Then we play like Forest away. We've got Spurs. We've got Brighton. We've got all these mad fixtures coming up, which I don't see a lot of wins. This is actually one of our easier games. And I don't think we're going to win, unfortunately, man. I don't see it.
You know, I was checking the other day. I had a look at your fixtures just to see what you're coming up against soon.
Bro.
I can't lie, I'm rubbing my hands, bro, because the teams that you're facing, the Arsenals, the Man Cities, obviously Liverpool, they're looking
at them fixtures, man.
Forest, these are all teams, that obviously are all going for top 4 right now. So you're gonna take points off of each other, right? Yeah. That's what I'm looking at, and for me, it's good. That's why we need to make sure that we don't lose this game, bro. Don't fucking lose this game. I'll take a point depending on how the game goes. If we're cruising the game and then you end up snatching a point, I'm not going to be happy about it. But if it's a situation where we're playing well, but we're struggling to score, we snatch something, cool. Ideally, I need a win. But if you look at Man City's fixtures coming up, they're playing teams that are going to be going for the top 4. Because Forest, they're not a jolt team right now as well, you know. They're not a jolt team.
No, don't say they are a jolt team, bro. They're a good team. That's what I'm saying. I think it's a must-win game for us against Chelsea. It's a must-win. Because we're not beating Arsenal, we're not beating Newcastle, in my opinion. No chance. No, I don't think we're beating Chelsea, but like Chelsea's like one of the easier games, like respectfully. And I still don't think we're going to beat you, but I think it's a must-win. We don't win, bro. We're going to be like prediction, bro. 3-2 Chelsea.
3-2 Chelsea. Boy, I mean, we scored 3 goals the other day, and you know,
I think we will score. I think we will score like a couple, maybe 2. And you will create chances. We've got to hope that Jackson has a stinker. I need you to be raging after the game at Jackson, and if I see a video on your channel on Saturday night saying buy a new striker now, get me Oshiman, get me Gyökeres, I know we've done well in it. But like, bro, I just don't see it, man. I just struggling to see a win here. Maybe we'll sneak a point, man, but like, I just don't see it.
You know what? It's so hard to predict what Chelsea's going to turn up in front of goal, man. But the way I'm seeing you lot just, you know, conceding all these crosses, I know that Maresca's going to be watching that and saying, keep crossing the ball. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to say 2-1 Chelsea. We can't keep clean sheets. I'm going to say 2-1 Chelsea. Haaland, Chelsea, one of the last teams he scored against in the league. You know, obviously he scored a penalty that wasn't a penalty last season. If you remember that, Cucurella, that penalty, that wasn't no pen. LB. He scored that goal.
It was soft,
yeah. And then obviously second half, straight after, he scored again. And then obviously this season he scored as well. Other than that, I think he had less than 10 touches when we played you lot this season, bro. Like we tend to do well.
He does that most games, bro.
Yeah, we tend to do quite well against him. So I'm gonna say 2-1 Chelsea, innit? That's more of a hopium one. I can't lie, bro. I'm just hoping that we are clinical in front of goal, bro. But LB, man, enjoyed that. Love for your time, my bro, man. Let them know where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, man, big up. It's LB is the main gaff, and then all other content is on the second channel, more LB, man. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing some Sudamericano watch along tonight. Brazil, Argentina, mate. Yeah, scouting all these young ballers coming through, mate. We got a guy called Echeverri coming from Argentina. He's joining us in February. Some other like young Brazilians and Argentinians on tonight, man. 11:30 UK time. That'll probably be on the second channel. So yeah, man, if you're at a loose end tonight, yeah, maybe you're staying away from the pubs, the clubs and that. Come over more LB tonight, Brazil, Argentina, we will be there.
Yeah, make sure, people, make sure, man. But listen, Chels, you fucking make sure as well. In a bit. Love.